Have you ever noticed that you're spending more and more money, but when you look around, it feels like you have nothing real? Skins, NFTs, subscriptions, microtransactions, all that money disappearing, and in the end, you don't own a house, a car, or even an emergency fund. And the worst part? This isn't happening by accident. Gen Z is being encouraged to spend on things that don't physically exist, but give a false sense of ownership and status. The problem is that when reality hits, this illusion crumbles. Today I'm going to show you how this trap works, why it's draining your money, and most importantly, how you can escape it before it's too late. Imagine a young man who, over the past 3 years, has spent thousands of dollars on game skins, premium subscriptions, and digital collectibles. In his mind, these items had value. But one day, he lost access to his account, the game company went bankrupt, or he simply decided to stop playing. The result? All that money vanished like dust. This is just one example of what's happening on a global scale. According to recent data, Gen Z spends billions of dollars each year on digital goods that don't accumulate real value. Meanwhile, only a small percentage of this group invests or builds wealth. The question is, are we truly progressing financially, or are we just funding an illusion? This trap is no coincidence. Social media, games, and even streaming services have created an ecosystem where spending money digitally feels natural and inevitable. Have you noticed how every new game release or app update comes with something to buy? A season pass, an exclusive skin, a collectible NFT. These companies use advanced psychological techniques to make you feel like you need these items. FOMO, the fear of missing out, is one of the main triggers. If everyone has that rare skin or exclusive NFT, you feel the urge to have it too. But it doesn't stop there. The attention economy has turned people's time into money for companies. Social media, streaming platforms, and even subscription services compete to keep you engaged for as long as possible. And how do they do that? With fake rewards like points, levels, or collectible items. You feel motivated to spend because it feels like an achievement. But in the end, you're just trading real money for something you can't resell or use in the physical world. And by the time we realize we're stuck in this vicious cycle, we've already spent hundreds or thousands of dollars without even noticing. The worst part is that most of these purchases aren't made all at once. They're small, recurring expenses that add up over time. Game subscriptions, premium upgrades, virtual currencies. The problem with subscriptions, for example, is that they create a false sense of low cost. Oh, it's just $5 a month. But when you add up all these microtransactions, you realize you could have invested that money in something that actually brings a return, an emergency fund, an investment in real assets, or a course to improve your career. Now let's take it a step further. There's a reason so many people are addicted to these digital expenses. Instant gratification. Our brains are wired to seek quick rewards, and digital goods deliver that efficiently. You don't have to wait to buy a virtual item. With one click, it's yours. But this makes us increasingly impatient and less likely to invest in things that take time to pay off. Building real wealth requires patience. But if you're used to buying everything on impulse, how will you manage to wait years for an investment to grow? Another point that almost no one talks about. Many of these digital purchases are made to fill an emotional void. When we feel bored, anxious, or disconnected, turning to a new game, a new skin, or a premium upgrade seems like a relief. But deep down, we're just masking the real problem. Instead of seeking gratification through digital goods, why not invest that time and money into something that truly improves your life? Learning a new skill, starting a personal project, or even strengthening real-life relationships can bring much more satisfaction than any virtual item. But what about the argument that some of these purchases can be investments? After all, some people have made money reselling NFTs or rare skins. That may be true in some cases, but the problem is that most of these purchases lack liquidity. In other words, you can spend money on them, but when you try to sell, you may not find buyers willing to pay what you expected. And even if you do make a profit occasionally, is it really worth betting your money on something so uncertain? Most of the people who make money from these assets are the ones who sold early, before the bubble burst. So what's the alternative? How do you break out of this cycle and start building something solid? One of the first steps is to create a conscious budget. Instead of spending impulsively, set clear limits for your digital expenses. Allocate a monthly amount for entertainment, but without compromising your bigger financial goals. Additionally, start directing a portion of your money into real investments. It can be something simple, like an emergency fund or an automatic investment in a long-term ETF. The key is to develop a habit of saving and investing before falling into the trap of easy spending. If there's one thing you should take away from this video, it's this. If you can't sell, rent, or use it in the real world, is it really worth your money? Digital consumption can be fun, but it shouldn't be your only financial priority. Now I want to hear from you. What's the most useless digital purchase you've ever made? Leave it in the comments and let's talk about it. Oh, and if this video helped you see things differently, like and share it so more people can escape the illusion of digital wealth. See you in the next video.